Environmental Conservation for Greener Future. MAPA. Mangrove Amumahon, Palambuon ug Alagaran. Going green is pursuing knowledge and practices that can lead to more environmentally friendly and ecologically responsible actions and lifestyles, which can help conserve the environment and preserve its natural resources from present and future generations. And so, let's draw our focus to mangroves. What is a mangrove? A mangrove is a shrub or small tree that grows in coastal saline or brackish water. The term is also used for tropical coastal vegetation consisting of such species. Mangroves occur worldwide in the tropics and subtropics, mainly between latitudes 30 degrees north and 30 degrees south, with the greatest mangrove area with 5 degrees of the equator. Mangroves are salt-tolerant trees, also called halophytes, and are adaptive to life in harsh coastal conditions. And so, what are the benefits of these mangroves? Number 1, we have biodiversity. Home to an incredible array of species, mangroves are biodiversity hotspots. They provide nesting and breeding habitat for fish and shellfish, migratory birds and sea turtles. An estimated 80% of the global fish catch relies on mangrove forest either directly or indirectly. In the Bay of Jicalisco, there are at least 2 crocodile, 3 bivalve, 3 crab and shrimp, 4 sea turtle, 9 bird and 12 amphibian species, as well as numerous species of fish. Several of these animal species are endangered. Next, we have the livelihoods. The rural communities we work with are fishers and farmers who depend on their natural environment to provide for their families. Healthy mangrove ecosystems mean healthy fisheries from which to fish and healthy land on which to farm. Since 2011, we've worked with communities to define and implement local plans for sustainable use, to regulate the use of natural resources like fish, clams, and crabs, and ensure that future generations will be able to count on these same resources. Third one, the water. Mangroves are essential to maintaining water quality. With their dense network of roots and surrounding vegetation, they filter and trap sediments, heavy metals, and other pollutants. This ability to retain sediments flowing from upstream prevents contamination of downstream waterways and protects sensitive habitat like coral reefs and seagrass beds below. Fourth, for coastal defense. Mangroves are the first line of defense for coastal communities. They stabilize shorelines by slowing erosion and provide natural barriers protecting coastal communities from increased storm surge, flooding, and hurricanes. In 2003, it was estimated that a quarter of the world's population lived within 100 kilometers of the coast and at 100 meters of sea level. Robust mangrove forests are natural protection for communities vulnerable both to sea level rise and the more intense and frequent weather events caused by climate change. Fifth, for carbon storage. Mangroves sequester carbon at a rate 2 to 4 times greater than mature tropical forests and store 3 to 5 times more carbon per equivalent area than tropical forests, like the Amazon rainforest. This means that conserving and restoring mangroves is essential to fighting climate change, the warming of the global climate fueled by increased carbon emissions. that is already having disastrous effects on communities worldwide. At the same time, mangroves are vulnerable to climate change as sea level pushes ecosystems inland. Next, materials. In addition to consuming fish and shellfish from the mangroves, communities have historically used mangrove wood and other extract for both building and medicinal purposes. Their potential as a source for novel biological materials such as antibacterial compounds and pest-resistant genes remains largely undiscovered. Mangroves represent less than 0.4% of the world's forests, but they're disappearing 3 to 5 times faster than forests as a whole. Along with our partners, we are supporting communities in implementing innovative techniques like ecological mangrove restoration or EMR to help mangroves thrive. 7 and last, sustainable development. Intact and healthy mangrove forests in El Salvador have an untapped potential for sustainable revenue-generating initiatives including ecotourism, sports fishing, and other recreational activities, whereas unregulated development projects in Mexico, polluting industries in India and Vietnam, or large-scale shrimp aquaculture in many parts of the world, locally led community development can offer economic growth without compromising coastal ecosystems. The St. Bernard Initiative. Following the terrible Ginsaogan landslide, the local government unit in St. Bernard began to seek tangible measures for disaster mitigation in the years ahead. Our former mayor, Rico Rentuza, worked with environmental specialists to develop the Pasahimapa in 2008, which assists in the planting and protection of our mangroves. And that ends my presentation. Let us all work together and continue to advocate for a greener environment for a better world. For at the end of the day, we are all men and women of the earth.
I am woman.